Hello and welcome to this week's Property Roundup. I spoke to a leading industry figure this week who claimed that his agency are working for just £40 an hour from the moment they take on the property to completion. So obviously a very low hourly wage compared to other professions. News out from Property Mark this week as well, saying that they want to take the basic entry-level requirements of ROPA and move that agency forward to being a professional. So I think there's a real sort of willing in the industry at the moment for us to become a profession, to be recognised, and therefore an increase in our fees that mirrors that profession. So hopefully we'll see some traction on that going forwards, but still a lot of work to be done, particularly by ROPA, who really need to get on with that whole process so we know where we stand as an industry and how long it's going to take to move this forwards. The stamp duty debate was held this week and it still remains to be seen what comes of that. Hopefully some kind of phased finish seems to be the favourite answer at the moment, but we'll see. News on that from Knight Frank, who are reporting an increase of 57% on exchanges based on a 5-year average. So clearly a desire for people to get their exchanges over the line before the holiday. And Rightmove also reporting that the fall-through rate year on year is down only 7%. So not a significant amount of fall-throughs on the increase, and we are getting closer to that deadline. So it'll be interesting to see that figure and how that plays out, particularly if there is some sort of tapered finish, which would be advantageous for everybody. Knight Frank also stating that stamp duty revenues account for just 2% of the government's tax income. So not a huge amount. It does leave the door open, I think, for complete overhaul of the stamp duty system and reform. But again, with everything else going on at the moment, it seems to be that seems to be kicked down further down the road, but we shall see. An article that caught my eye this week was called Death of the High Street. We've seen that headline before, of course, when it comes to estate agency. But this one from Mark Meyer, whose claims of home-based agency is set to come of age. There's no doubt that there's a market for home-based agency and the hybrid model, and they're starting to get ahead of steam. Although still the independents in the high street remain the cornerstone of the property market in terms of their transaction numbers and also their growth, which we'll come on to in a moment. But interestingly, a stat from Best Agent as well this week claiming that 4% of branches have closed since July, which would mean around 900 branches. So further consolidation in the high street, but I think what you're going to see is the really strong agents in the high street will get stronger and the weak ones will potentially disappear over time. The online agents are accounting for only 3% at the moment of sellers, according to prop tech firm WiggieWham. So only 3% of sellers would favour an online estate agent. So the online estate agent market seems to be at best stagnant, and we should see how that continues the rest of this year. Data out this week from 20CI showing an increase of whole of market share for independent agents of 1.9% in 2020, whilst large agencies lost 1.7% whole of market share and corporates lost 0.4%. So certainly a swing in the direction of the independent agents in 2020, and that number looks set to continue to rise in 2021. And finally, this week, a fantastic video online by a chap called Tony Ruby. If you haven't seen it, go on Facebook, follow Tony, check out his Doll's House video. Fantastic initiative, very funny, excellently done, and also gained a lot of traction for Tony on his Facebook community. So go and check out the video, really well done, and it's great to see people taking the lead in their industry and doing something slightly different, but a very good watch if you can get a couple of minutes to do that. Okay. That's it for this week. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend.